You are my queen. You are my queen.
Make she is our queen.
And you will always be my queen. You are my queen. Now and always.
The mother of dragons, Daenerys, the breaker of chains. We literally fell for this character from being, like basically pushed into slavery. Basically she came from the bottom and then she worked her way to the top. She had the dragons, she got an army, she was taking down cities and literally getting rid of slavery, and everybody started to root for her. Everybody wanted to see the mother of dragons just be triumphant and overcome. And I was rooting for her. I thought she was actually going to take, all the kingdoms, 7 kingdoms, and it was going to be her on the Iron Throne. Well, it was for a short moment. After she went absolutely mad. Okay, she might have not have went mad, but she went power hungry. I mean, we saw in earlier seasons where she was saying, you leave the children alone. And next thing you know, she's burning children and women and everybody to the ground and didn't even care. Literally, the people she was supposed to just rule, she ended up killing all of them. Man, I think she needed something else in that Starbucks cup. Jon Snow was one of everybody's favorite characters. I know he was one of mine. And I absolutely love Jon Snow. I mean, from the very beginning of him just, being a bastard, not knowing who he was. And he was always just being so selfless. He's a warrior, willing to fight, willing to do what is ever needed. He's just willing to put his life out there. And, basically, people look up to him. People want to follow him because he's a leader. I felt like through all the 7 seasons, until we got to season 8, they were literally grooming Jon for the throne. But what did they do with Jon? She's my queen. She's my queen. She's my queen.
You will always be my queen.
Half of Jon Snow in season 8. That's all we really got from him. The thing that really is upsetting about Jon Snow is he has this arc as a character of working his way up in leadership and people following him, and you start to root for him, and then you find out that he's supposed to be the true heir.
My name. My real name. Is Aegon Targaryen.
And what do they do to him? Basically, his ending is he goes back to the Night Watch. Because he decides to kill Daenerys, kill the queen, because he knew it was the right thing to do, because she just went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She was burning kids, she's burning everything, and Jon knows she's not the one to lead going forward. So what's he do? He kills her. I mean, you're rooting for her this whole time, she dies, Jon kills her, and what do they do with Jon? They throw him back at the Night's Watch. Well, the Unsolid did, and the Unsolid leave, so I don't really know what it matters. And let's talk about the Night Watch. Why do you have a Night Watch? The wall's been torn down. The wildlings are living in harmony with the crows, and there's no more army of the dead. So what's up with the Night Watch? So literally, they took a character as special as Jon Snow, who had an arc, who had more claim to the throne than anyone, and they absolutely just ruined him. One of the most disappointing parts of Season 8, in my opinion. Another big issue in Season 8 is we got Yara Greyjoy. A lot of people forget about her because she absolutely did nothing besides open her mouth when she shouldn't have.
Some of you may be quick to forgive. The Ironborn are not. I swore to follow Daenerys Targaryen.
You swore to follow a tyrant.
She freed us from a tyrant. Cersei is gone because of her, and Jon Snow put a knife in her heart. Let the Unsullied give him what he deserves.
Theon's sister gets saved at the beginning, and then she goes back to the Iron Island. She doesn't help out in the war at Winterfell. She doesn't help out in the war at King's Landing. Basically, she just wanted to be there because the Night Walkers can't get there. And if they needed to get in the way, they could go to the Iron Islands. But, okay, you want to protect yourself. I can get that. But you're not helping anybody out, and for some reason you have this undying love for your Queen Daenerys. Even though your brother Theon died at the Battle of Winterfell, for the Battle of the Living, right alongside Jon, but yet you're okay just punishing Jon because you're so loyal to your queen now. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Moving on, we have Jaime and Cersei. Lovers, brother and sister. You know, they can't get enough of each other. It starts off all through the seasons. You know, they have this crazy little love thing going on. All their kids are dying. They're like loving and hating each other, but you know, Jaime just can't get enough of her, and Cersei just takes advantage of him any chance she gets. Well, they have this magic romance, and guess what? He made it back to her. Cersei, one of the most hated characters throughout all 8 seasons. You know, everybody's expecting her to either get burnt alive by the dragon, freaking skinned alive, shot through the head by an arrow, something cool. I mean, it's her time to die. It's her time to get taken over, you know. But, how'll she die? Nah, she gets to die with her sweet loving brother right under some crumbling rock. That was absolutely ridiculous. Everybody was expecting something greater, and that's the best you can come up with. She dies under some crumbling rocks. Talk about a huge letdown, especially for the fans. You know, Game of Thrones is just huge of theories. I'm like, exactly how it's gonna end. And all these theories are going to my mind on, is Daenerys, you know, is the mother of dragons, is she going to actually get the 7 kingdoms, sit on the Iron Throne and lead well? Is she going to take over everything? Is that how it's going to pan out? Because that's kind of how they made it seem almost at first, but obviously we should know in Game of Thrones nothing is as it seems. Or is Jon Snow going to take over? Is he going to lead? Is he going to sit on the Iron Throne? Because we find out who he truly is, and that's his true claim is to the throne. Or is the Night King literally just going to murder everybody and everybody's going to be dead? Because that also happens a lot in Game of Thrones. But no, we got Bran Stark. Bran Stark ends up being the king of all the kingdoms. You know, he gets to sit on the Iron Chair. And, you know, normally I wouldn't have a problem with this. You know, he's Ned Stark's son. He is a Stark. But here's the thing. The kid has no personality whatsoever. Yeah, sure. He got pushed out of a window. He was a crippled. He became the three-eyed raven. You know, he has this backstory. But every time he gets on screen, it's honestly almost awkward. Like, he has a few one-liners, and then he just, like, sits there like, it just feels weird. And the fact that you literally demoted Jon, the one who we kind of almost thought was going to have his claim to the Iron Throne, now you move him down to, you know, going back to being the Night Watch, which we already covered. There's no point to have a Night Watch. Daenerys is dead. She's not taking over. The Night King's dead. So we're stuck with Bran Stark. In all honesty, I would have rather Tyrion taken over the 7 kingdoms. At least the guy had a personality. In all honesty, he is probably the only one that I can honestly say I thought was pretty flawless through all 8 seasons. The man did a fantastic job, and he's my favorite character out of the Game of Thrones. But even you could tell that he wasn't having the best time filming this last season. Guys, these are my thoughts. Season 8 was horrible. I'm really kind of upset as a fan that I didn't get to see this finish out a lot better. A better battle at Winterfell. Just a better finish up to Season 8 of one of the greatest TV shows ever. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm the Hammer with Strictly Geek, home of the Geek Elite.